Hi everyone. I had to do a third attempt at the live feed. Again, this is there are definitely issues with internet service in all areas of Canada. I clearly don't have strong enough internet to do this video from home. So I'm starting this third feed. I may just record the video on my own and post it later because this feed has been so choppy. There's only about 10 minutes left though. So what I was talking about when I was disconnected is you or a loved one becomes ill, so you need to have the documents, powers of attorney, you need the information about medical conditions, medications, care, all that sort of stuff. Also insurance, so insurance for when you're in the hospital, insurance for income supports, critical illness insurance, does that exist, does it apply? And then also a plan to get your ongoing bills paid and covered. And someone needs to have some of that information or be able to get to that information. Again, you also need to think about what other things the sick individual needs to take care of: childcare, pet care, elderly care, caring for the house. Do you need to contact the insurance company? What is happening? How often does the home need to be visited if the person's in the hospital for an extended period of time? The last thing I'm going to talk about is if a loved one dies. So the first thing you need to think about is, do they have a will? Where is the will? Can you get to it? And who is the person appointed to make decisions? Really, this information should be given to the person who's acting for you ahead of time, so that they're not scrambling, because I have had clients call me when there's been a sudden death and they don't know who's acting, and they've made decisions assuming that one person's acting when it's not that person. And if you have a will, you need to tell the people that you've appointed that you've appointed them, so they know, and they need to know where the will is. They need to know where to get it. Certainly you should have a copy at home and the business card of the lawyer who holds it. We can do notarized copies, but someone needs to know what the information is. So that's the first thing. Did the deceased person have a will? Secondly, is there a prepaid funeral, or is there any instructions about dealing with the body? We have had clients where there's been a prepaid funeral, but the people making the arrangements didn't know. So there was, the funeral was paid for twice, essentially. If you have a loved one that dies, you're going to need support. Ask for help. If you see someone where their loved one has died, just step in and just start helping. It's not a fun thing to deal with, but someone usually needs to be in there to organize all of these things and get these things done. Again, if there's someone has died, what other obligations do they have? Do they have children to care for, pets to care for, their home to care for, their plants? In the immediate aftermath, are their bills going to be paid? What needs to happen? The basic things that I tell clients when someone dies is the person who's appointed as the trustee needs to arrange the funeral and the burial of the deceased, or the cremation of the deceased. They need to notify the family, so you need to know how to get in touch with the family members, the beneficiaries, but also the loved ones. You need to get a death certificate. You need to locate the will and review it, and if there is no will, you need to contact a lawyer because someone will need to be appointed by the court. You need to ensure that the deceased person's assets, home and contents, are still insured. Secure custody of those assets. You might need to change locks and things like that. The Canada Pension Plan death benefit can be applied for. Usually the funeral home helps. That's not like an emergent thing, but it usually is done when the arrangements are made about the burial or cremation. And then you really should probably have a consultation with a lawyer shortly after that. It doesn't need to happen immediately. I have people call me the day somebody dies. You don't need to call me that day, but maybe within a week or two, we should have a consultation and I can give you a roadmap of what you need to do. I think that's all I have for now. This ended up being quite choppy. I think there's only a couple of people watching because I'm sure the feed was frustrating to watch with it not being great. I'm just going to go back and see if on any of the other feeds there were any questions. Let me just take a look here, but you can certainly post some questions in the comments and I'll see what I can do. Sorry for the technical difficulties. And of course, my internet isn't even letting me load the questions. So yeah, I don't really see any questions. So I think I'll just sign off now. I probably will re-record this whole thing without being live, and then I will post it because I don't think that the 3 different video feeds is going to be that helpful to people. Anyway, if you do have any questions, you can post in the comments on the event, and you can also message me. Thank you.